Y'all, I am getting a kick out of the rest of the world's reaction to things in France. If there's something that I have learned about France since moving here 6 years ago and being married to a French man, it's that I feel like they're kind of like cats, you know? Like, very arrogant and like don't give a fork what anyone else thinks. Um, and I kind of respect that. Like, I know it's hard. It's also hard to respect like one of the OG colonizers, like, and especially that's like still like not dealing with all of that harm and continuing to exploit. But this isn't about that. This is about like one of the things that I just find fascinating and I kind of admire to an extent is they're so proud. Really shouldn't be proud of some stuff, but are so proud and just like confident. Like, seriously, it reminds me of cats. It's like, what like a cat comes in the room is like and you're just like, how do you have that confidence? And I really admire on some level that like that this is what they do. They don't really care what y'all think. Like, there so many things that I've been seeing online, people like making valid criticisms. They're like, yeah, but so again, some of it is just like, come on. But other times I'm like, they're not people pleasers. That's what it is. I mean, I know I'm making gross generalizations, broad strokes, but like this little like, Southern white woman who's like, people pleaser, like, and never said what I meant, never meant what I said, not always, never, okay, whatever, okay, sometimes, was like not taught to be direct, like just literally like just, like me, image management, totally codependent, totally enabling, all this stuff, never was like taught to literally be anything but honest. And I come over here, and if Germans are like this in terms of direct. The Dutch, they are too, but it's a little much. I'm like, dude, okay, there's like being direct, and then there's being like being a jerk. Like, y'all could tone it down. Like, it's called being like polite. But I trust people more who are like direct over like me having to decode everything. Because if Southern culture, Southern white culture, I'm going to speak for that. That is what I know very well. I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm going to speak for myself because this is not across the board. But I was taught to use honey instead of vinegar or whatever, that like there's a way to get what you want, like kind of like the seeing like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the same thing is like the woman controls the neck and the man is the head, so like he's like the boss, but you basically show him what to do in this weird roundabout. There's no like, there's like 10 different ways to say no without ever saying no, which is so much easier to just say no instead of be like, well, that is like such a no, but it's not a no. So then you're like, wait, you don't seem to want to do this. Well, yeah. Like, it's so confusing. And my little neurodivergent brain really struggled with this growing up. So I come to France, and not saying there's not passive aggressive people, there's not people pleasers, blah, 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 of course. But in general, the culture, and believe me, bringing Anthony to the South, he was like, what is happening? He was so confused because he just wasn't raised around like people like not just saying what they mean ever. And this is why I love New York. In the South, people be like, hey, and in New York, they'd be like, fuck you. So instead of like stab you behind your back, they just say it to your face. So anyway, they don't care what anyone thinks. They're just going to do what they're going to do. And sometimes it's a little too much over here. It's like, come on, could you just whatever? There's so many contradictions, which is also part of just being human. But so let's go over some of the complaints. Oh my God, before I do, look, pony. There's a pony sighting. That's a pony. Fabio is not really his name. That is his nickname because he has great hair. People have just been complaining so much about the food, which is hilarious because like France like really prides itself on food more than anything. Like, as somebody who worked in the film industry, like gastronomy here is like Hollywood back home. Like the egos, the like if Bocuse is like a superstar here. If you don't know who it is, look him up. He's like, his head is all over buildings and stuff, So I'm sure they're just like so confused by the complaints about the food. this is one article. British Olympic swimmer Adam Peaty, I don't know if I'm saying that, claims athletes have found worms in the food. Do you know there's a cheese that my French family gave me that they ate, that they were like, check this out. And this was like a big special deal. Tiny bugs. Tiny bugs are eating the cheese, and that's part of the experience, is eating tiny bugs. I was like, what? I've had frog legs here. I was like, oh, that's like, I literally was like, that's not a thing, is it? Yeah, like, it was one of my family members' is a birthday, that was their request. Frog leg. I will try most things once. Won't eat those again, but I tried them. Anyway, I can't. It's a mental block. So this whole worm things, I'm like, man, it's probably like part of it. I don't know, maybe. This dude's like, worms in my face. So he says he was blindsided. Said the food was inadequate. Adding to the Great Britain was his blindsided the difficulties of living on campus. That's why, like, if you ever like, oh my God, I want your life, Melanie, please understand that I just want to try to talk about this a lot. I'm never going to be like, oh my God, France is like most amazing. I love it here. I love it here. But there's some certain things. Like, for instance, it is a heat wave right now. Do you know that before I go to bed, I have to drench a cotton shirt, put it on my pillow, take a cold shower, pour water all over my head so that it's like dripping wet, and then get into bed and have a fan blasting me all night. And then I usually have to wake up in the middle of the night and go take another cold shower at least once. That is what we do here. That's what I do here, because I can't sleep when I'm hot, and they just don't believe in air conditioning in general. There's literally this same thing in Italy and other places. There's this thing where like it makes you sick. Okay, I don't know if it's the same in Italy. I know they have like their own things there. Something about like exposing your stomach makes it like, anyway, they truly believe that air conditioning makes you sick. I wouldn't disagree with that entirely. And believe me, coming from the US, I think it's like, I almost never had an air conditioner when I lived in New Mexico or California or a lot of places. So I am not like, yay, air conditioning. Like, if you live in a city in France, it's hot. It is so hot. And so you live in like a dungeon all summer because no AC, and sun just makes it even hotter. So like all these beautiful, huge windows, well, you gotta close them all and like put the blinds down, and it's like living in a cave. And then when we went on vacation with my family, and like one of my family members had the AC blowing really pretty strong, Anthony was sick the whole vacation. And so he was like, he doesn't believe in the whole AC makes you sick until that happened. I was like, no, please don't let this make you like anti air conditioning always. Like, I think you had something else. And you know, we like tested him from home and everything, and it was like nothing. Anyway, all it did was reinforce this thing that air conditioning makes you sick. Now, again, I find there's a middle place, okay? Just to stick with the food first. Catering isn't good enough for the level of the athletes are expected to perform. In Tokyo, the food was incredible. Rio was incredible, but this year's games, we weren't. There wasn't enough protein options, and they had to wait 30 minutes for food because there's no queuing. This one made me laugh so hard. Okay, sorry if you're French and you follow me. You know, I love this country, but this drives us insane. Y'all do not know how to get in lines. You don't know how to get in line, and it makes me want to pull my hair out. You're so bad at queuing. Oh! And then because I'm insecure about my French. People cut me all the time, and I'm like, how do I say it in a way that gets across? You know, like, I get cut all the time because I don't know how to say in a way that's not like, or maybe I should just be a big old bitch. Because y'all suck at queuing. Why? Anyway, so apparently he says that Paris Olympics pledged their focus on a plant-based dish. What? What France do y'all live in? Maybe this is a Lyon thing or Southern France thing. But do you have any idea how hard it is for vegans to live here? There was like an Irish couple that I was friends with. They literally moved. They moved to another country. It's so hard to be vegan here. So like, what are y'all doing? I am vegetarian. I'm not strictly vegetarian. I just don't really like to eat meat much. It makes me really sleepy. And I used to go to a barbecue place, and I had to touch bones that people had been gnawing on so much. I just quit eating meat, and also I'm narcoleptic, it makes me pass out. So I don't really eat meat. I'll eat it, but I'm not like, I don't really like to. You know, every single family meal, like my mother-in-law make me a whole separate dish because meat is in everything. Am I crazy? Am I living a different French experience than the average immigrant? I do not understand. I find it shocking that they want a plant-based. Is this the first time they've ever done that? Or is this like a Paris thing? Because in my neck of the woods, meat is in, like, everyone I know except for one person is like not just a meat eater, but like it isn't like a part of like every meal more or less, but especially like red meat. Let me give you another example. I am staying in the village that Anthony grew up in. Farms everywhere. This isn't a working farm. This is more like, it used to be a farm and now it's more like a garden and stuff. But farms everywhere. And whenever I go on hikes, one day I literally, if I had the time, I'd bring up the video to show you. Literally was hiking and a blood stream, a stream of blood. I was like, I had blood all over my shoes. I was like, what is this? I was like, you probably passed like, it's like probably the farm up the street. I think they like do chickens or something. I don't know. And I was like, right. Like, you know, I mean, just, oh God. This right here. Okay, I found it. So this is France right here. You will see this all the time. Like, look at this. I see this all the time. Trigger warning, look away. Like, look, watch. He gets it on the car. Blood all over the car. I had to look up that clip because I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I kind of like how brutally honest they are because, you know, in the U.S. you'll get a fish and the head's cut off. And the skin it's like, this isn't fish, but it's fish. And here it's just like, it's staring at you, you know? I've seen brains. They sell, you know, tentacles. Like, the brutality of how much meat they eat here, I find fascinating, right? I'm not a huge fan of it because I don't eat it. I also, like, don't judge it. Because, I don't know, it's just the culture. So, I'm so confused by them doing a plant-based diet for athletes. For Olympians, why are Olympians eating a plant? When in God's name have you ever done this? Is it like, again, maybe this is Paris. By the way, I'm going to tag, please help me remember to do this, Melanie. Okay, come on. One of my mutuals, she's a U.S. American and she lives in Paris. She has some of the most real French content. She also does like fashion and all kinds of stuff. She's amazing. I love her. Go follow her page. But she talks a lot about France. Like we're texting each other during the opening ceremony because I was like, this is the most French thing I have ever seen in my life. And she was like, this is the most French thing. They don't give a fork about like whatever. They just did whatever they want. It's like, it'd be as weird and random and totally, it's like, they don't care if we understand it. Like, that's not what it's for. This is them just like doing like, and it was just too much and so detailed and all over the place. And I loved it. And like, especially this part, I was like, all of it. I mean, all of it. The like heavy metal opening with like the Marie Antoinette head talking, like blood shooting everywhere. Like it was so French. It was so French. I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, it made me actually love this country so much more watching them do that for the entire world to see. And it was just like so unapologetically like over the top and crazy and random and amazing and weird and just like all of it. So the fact that they were just like, yeah, we're doing protein, like this makes no sense to me. At the same time, it's also like, we're doing this. Like, and not like apologetic about it at all. And the protein offerings were subpar. I want meat. I need meat to perform, and that's what I eat at home. So why should I change? I like my fish, and people are finding worms in the fish. It's just not good enough. The fact that they're all just starving for meat in France, of all places, is so funny to me. I'm like, it is so not my experience, but also it kind of almost feel like it's like such a like, that is very much French. Organizers told y'all need to fix who's copy editing this? They had no information to be able to confirm the specific allegations. They're like, yeah, I don't know. We don't know if that's true or not regarding the worms in the fish. And I guess the Team Great Britain told the outlet there were no worms sightings reported in its stat. Okay, finding a worm in fish. Finding a worm in the fish is a natural occurrence and doesn't necessarily like it. So I don't know if this is true or not. It probably is. This right here reminds me of like they got like criticized. I can't find. I screenshotted this, but there's like 5,000 screenshots to go through. I couldn't find it in time. I gave you the meat dragging over a car one. I can't look this one up right now. I'm gonna lose my train of thought. When they were criticized for not having enough ice. First of all, Yeah, they never have ice here. I didn't really usually have much ice in, I actually hate having ice in my water and in my drinks in general, but iced coffee ain't happening here. First time I ordered an iced coffee here, not first, but one of the first times, they literally brought, and I think they did it as a like, fork you American, you're not gonna come here and impose your culture on us. Like, this is what I'm saying. If you want to move to France, you better let go of whatever it is that you think you should, like, things should be, and get on board with how it is here, because they do not like people coming over here and telling them what to do, except for like a colonizer. Anyway, so especially from like US Americans who are like, where's the AC? Where's this? Where's that? They're like, AC is making you sick, whatever. I'm not even gonna try to do a fake bad French accent. But when I ordered iced coffee, and I didn't even order it. The French Tinder date I was on, like the French dude I was on a Tinder date with, ordered it from me because I knew they were not going to make it because I was already having problems. And of course, they don't really do that here. They do more and more now. But so he ordered it and he explained it. You know what they did? They brought me a hot coffee in a coffee cup with a coffee, with a like a teacup with a whatever. And then they brought a giant bucket of ice that you would put white wine in, and they put it on top of that iced coffee. I was like, oh, I respected France so much in that moment. I was like, y'all don't give a fuck. I respect that. As a recovering people pleaser, I love that energy. Too much of it is annoying as hell, but like sometimes I have to go somewhere to overcorrect to get in the middle. So now I'm like more direct and more, honest, and like try not to give any forks, but I'm still like come from people. So now I'm kind of like in the middle. This is where I want to be. When there's that whole allegation about like them not having no ice for the athletes in their ice bath. Do you know the French people were like, the French Olympic people were like, we don't really believe in that science. Like, this hasn't really been proven. Like, you really need ice bath. Like, I wish I could find the article. It was so funny because they're like, meh. And then they use the environment as a reason to not do it. They're just like, that's not really environmentally friendly. And again, if this was anything but the Olympics, I'd be like, fair enough. Like the best athletes in the world, some of them really heavily rely on ice baths and stuff. And they're like, nah, we don't think it works. We don't believe in air conditioner or that. Whatever, y'all silly people. Just like cats. There are reports of food shortages too, which is also funny because if you one of the biggest jokes about people who are not from France, but like, it's like, how are the people so skinny here? I honestly don't know. And a lot of people think it's because they smoke cigarettes and don't eat. But that has not been my experience. They eat less, but like the stuff they eat, like I kind of eat like them now, Like this morning I had a croissant and some yogurt and some coffee, and there's so much butter in that croissant. It does actually fill you up for a while. But anyway, but like there's this idea that like French people just like don't eat much. I'm like, I actually don't agree with that. They eat plenty. It's like it's all about quality, not quantity. And I'd argue that in the US it is it's very common for it to be all about like quantity, not quality. And I say this to somebody, I was like, oh my God, you remember like those like I would drink so much Diet Coke. I would eat cookies that had like hardly any calories. Just like so I could eat more and more and more and more. And now another reason why this is really good for me is because I came from such a I used to have an inhaler and all that stuff. And here I really have to like pay attention and really really experience the food. And eat slow because it's not much. You better take your time, especially if I'm at in-laws and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, crap, I got an empty plate and I got to sit here for 4 hours. So it's like you're forced to eat slower here. Anyway, so it's kind of funny that this food shortage is like a thing. Maybe it's a logistical thing, maybe it's something else, but it doesn't actually help with this stereotype that French people just smoke cigarettes, or French women, I'll say this, just smoke instead of eat. And so this like healthier food in the cafeteria, like Simone Biles says, it might not be proper French cuisine. Yeah, exactly. What is this food? What are y'all serving? Did y'all do this to save money? Because you really don't usually have plant-based anything. So it cracks me up. Some athletes have chosen to skip the cafeteria entirely. American swimmer Abby Whitesell and Phoebe Bacon cooked their own ham and cheese sandwiches on the roof of their athletics buildings after they had a food hall scary. The Team Great Britain also reportedly hired private chefs for their performance base at the Paris suburb, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm trying to read fast. They said there's not enough of certain foods, eggs, chicken, certain carbohydrates, and also criticized the quality of food, claiming raw meat was being served to Olympians. Okay, let me tell you something. If you order like medium well, well done, they ain't doing it. Even when you're literally like, no, for real. Like one of my friends ordered it medium or medium well or something, and it was she was like, and she's lived here for a long time, she was like, look, she's like, this is me fighting for medium or medium well. I think it was actually medium well, and it was red. Like their idea, I'm like, it's just different. It is so insulting to them that you want it cooked more. They're just like, no, I'm not going to do it. You're paying. You're the customer. In France, the customer is not always right. They're almost never right. Not in a restaurant. The chef is right. Always. And again, I love that energy. As a former waitress in the United States, and I've done plenty of videos about like the history of tipping in the United States and how it's directly linked to racism. Like everything bad in the U.S. is directly tied to racism, especially anti-blackness. And so how I it's so it like heals my little former waitress heart to go to a restaurant and be treated like crap by the waiter. Not even like crap, but just like they don't care. They are not here to be your friend. They don't need your approval. They don't really even want to talk to you. They're just here to do their job. And they're just literally here to do their job so they can enjoy their life. And that's the approach here. And I love it. You get your 5 paid weeks of vacation, plus all the holidays, and there's a lot. Everything's about the weekend. It's like pleasure and enjoying life is what it's about here. And you may be going to a restaurant to experience pleasure, but labor is something like they will not stay open late. They will close when they want to. They literally they don't care. They don't care. They're not going to put, like in the U.S., if someone comes into a restaurant at like 9:59 and you close at 10, we always have to serve them, and it drives me crazy. Because the customer's always right. What if they make a bad Yelp review? Here, that would never happen. That would never happen. I mean, maybe when someone's going to be like, oh my God, I went to a... Don't do that in my comments if you're like, that one time... You know, they are not going to, even if it would be easy for them to just give you something quick, they're not going to do it because it's a principle. No, your money is not more important than me going home right now. Sorry, I don't need your money. I love that. So like this whole thing, yeah, man, none of y'all are getting air conditioning. Like no one in France even, like, you know, like if you can't even find fans. If you have to watch the weather. And if you see a canicule is coming, which is like a heat wave, you better get that fan now, because when it's 98 degrees here, no air conditioning, ton of humidity, especially in a city with asphalt. Imagine being in New York City without air conditioning. That's what it's like here. And there's nowhere to go to get away from it. I mean, there's a few places, sure, but I literally, my first summer here, I went to the movie theater thinking, okay, I'll get away from this heat. Movie theater didn't have air conditioning. I was hot in the movie. I fell asleep, narcoleptic. I pass out when I'm hot. Anyway, so if you don't have a fan and that heat wave comes, good luck going to all these places. They don't have fans. They're sold out, you know? And they won't even like we stayed at an Airbnb in, when my best friend Liz came, we stayed in an Airbnb like near Chamonix. The host didn't even have a fan. And it's hot at night. They refused to buy. We were like, hey, you don't have fans? And they're like, we could buy a fan, I guess. No one's ever wanted one. But we're going to charge you like $10 extra a day. And it's like, what? You're going to keep the fan though. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know how they are so resistant to heat. It's like the most important test you could take, the back, when you're when you're graduating high school, whatever. One of the most important tests, and I think it happens in June, right? Because the summer here is July and August. And they have one of these heat waves. Like, people have so many stories of literally like sitting in a pool of sweat as they're taking the most important test of their younger self life, you know, their young life. maybe one of the most important tests of their entire life. And no, why would you have air conditioning for that? Other complaints that I've seen, it's like these cardboard beds and stuff and the pillows. Let me tell you something. If you go, it's not just France, it's Spain, it's a lot of places. I don't know why the pillows suck and they don't have top sheets. I don't understand it, but the pillows, when I was like going to Airbnbs all around Portugal and Spain and France before I moved here, I have never slept so bad. I've never been that hot. There's no top sheet, so you either have to have the full comforter or nothing. And there's no pillows. There's no pillows. And now, I'm 46 now. I not only have like 2 pillows under me, I have like a body pillow. I'm like literally, it's like I'm in a hot dog with like I'm almost fully, it's like I'm in a fortress of pillows. So imagine, like, if you're going to travel, you're going to come to France, you better bring your own pillow or something. What I started doing is I ball up my clothes and put it under the pillow just to give it some height. So anyway, that's not just a France thing. That's a like many countries in Europe thing. I don't understand it because pillows to me are so important, but they don't care. They don't need them here. I don't get it. I literally bring my pillows still everywhere I go. If I'm staying the night, I will always bring a pillow. Of all the things that I make room for, at least one pillow. And then finally, the only other thing, there's probably more things I could talk about, but the whole like people getting sick and like barfing, people like barfing in the river, like the fact that they like, I'm actually, it doesn't surprise me that the French were protesting and like taking dumps in that river. I'm surprised there wasn't like full-on riots, because the tax dollars being used to clean up that river, and it's still nasty and people are getting sick. One last is, this is like, I love this. So right before the Olympics, every major industry seemed to have gone on strike. Even in Lyon, and again, I screen grabbed the article about it, and I don't know, I can't find it right now. I'm just going to tell you what it was. So they had a few matches here in Lyon, some of the football or soccer matches, and the fire department was so pissed that they had to like miss some of a week of vacation to be at this thing, and they got like a €200 compensation for showing up and doing this thing, and they all went on strike. They threatened, they're like, we're not doing it, good luck, you're gonna have no safety at this thing. They were like, I dare you to not give us more money. And like an event like that big with tens of thousands of people, if you have like no safety measures, it's like, so they all of them, I think the airports, I don't know which, if it was I don't think it was, maybe it's the ground crew or like whatever, all the industries that knew everything hinged on them for these Olympics, they're like, they waited until like like the day before, like a week before, and they're like, hey, by the way, we don't like what you're paying us, we're going on strike. And if there's one thing you know about France, your travel plans are going to be disrupted constantly because of strikes. When I was doing that long distance relationship for a while, I stopped just messing with France. I would go to Switzerland and then take a blah blah car because I didn't want to risk one of these trains. Luckily they announce it, so at least you can plan around it. They don't announce it that far in advance. So you are constantly going to have to alter your plans because of protests all the time. And as annoying as it is, I love it. I love it because, I believe in sometimes it's like, really? Like, but no, I still support it always. And so for the Olympics, literally they interviewed firemen for this article. They're like, you ask us to miss a week of our vacation? No way am I doing this for €200. You do not mess with French people's vacation. Never. Anyway, I probably have more thoughts on this. This is a very kind of not my usual content. If you like stuff like this, you like travel stuff and just like whatever, join the Patreon. I do a lot of stuff like this over there. Not like videos like this, but I share a lot more travel stuff over there. Anyway, let me know if you heard the comments. And sorry, the pony is not making an appearance, but is sleeping mode. Back to our regular scheduled programming of sleeping mode, being like the sidekick. He does nothing, but adds so much value. Et voila. This is the comet song, walking around an old town called Oh, crap. Bully. Well, it's not how you pronounce it, but this is us yesterday while we were getting our oil changed. We had an hour to kill, so Anthony took me to this little village nearby. What? A castle? Oh, my goodness. Look, a castle. This is the kind of stuff I put on my Patreon. That's the Marie, which is the town hall. That's where people get married and other things that important happen there. This is a walk around town near the oil change place, which costs like $200 to get all of our stuff checked out, which is like $30 in the United States. I'm like, what the fork? Look at that pink building. I'm just singing stuff. This was a bar. The bar's open in the morning here. They didn't have much. They didn't even have cafe au lait. This is a terrible song, but it's a break from the pony content for the comment song. And I thought I'd share our oil change day. This town was dead. The comment song, the comment song, the comment song. This is, again, the Marie, but look, we're going to walk you through. I don't know why I'm showing this again. Sorry. Oh, here's some history. The Resistance. You can pause and read if you want. I got a photo coming up. Looky, 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 looky. You probably don't speak French, but it's about the Resistance. Oh my God, this is a terrible song. I'm changing the chord. Look at those curtains of comments. So I'm gonna end it on bows because he's a sweet baby. Okay, et voila. Let me know if you heard this.